Hello everyone, I trust you're all well. Welcome back on another YouTube video. On this video we'll be talking about the market analysis and setups for this coming week, the week of May, the first month of May, the first day of May actually. The first day of May, we're introducing a new month, May. Welcome to winter. So currently I'm looking at the USDJPY. This week is going to be a really crazy week. We have federal news, interest rates decision, we have AUD interest rates decision, we have the big event and the one you've probably been waiting for, non-farm payrolls, as well as CAD employment change. So looking at the USDJPY on the daily time frame, as you can see, the previous the previous day, the closing day on Friday, it impulsed out of this consolidative zone, because since a while price failed to break out of this zone, tested first time, if it tested the second time, eventually it broke out of this zone. So with this breakout, I'm on the daily chart, with this breakout it showcased that we had an impulse. Now we're looking for a pullback, and we can see clearly that price is no longer on a downtrend but currently opened up, showcasing that it's on an uptrend, a change of direction. So we're looking for a pullback from here. We look to take some buying opportunities, targeting the previous high at 137.710. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame and see on a better scale. Okay, the moving average is below price. The moving average is below price, meaning price will go up. So it shot up from there. This was a proper demand. If you had bought there, you could have made some good profits. So price impulsed. Currently we are waiting for a pullback. So with a pullback, upon the previous breakout, we could take our buy positions here at 134.920, and stop loss could be just below the previous breakout at 134.522. This is what I'm anticipating on the USDJPY for this upcoming week. And potentially, if NFPs is volatile, or the federal raise rates, then we could possibly see price breaking even out of the 137. If what I'm predicting is wrong, we could see price coming back down and continue the downtrend, coming back and breaking out of this demand zone, breaking this low and taking a downtrend for the sellers as well. Looking at the Euro USD on the 4-hour time frame. So guys, I've spoke about the pair correlation and how my strategy operates. With the USD being I'm anticipating actually with the USD being bullish, as we've seen on the previous analysis, that the USD impulsed to the spike. So the USD is bullish. So currently I'm just looking for the Euro USD to pull back and test the resistance zone. That's where we take ourselves, because we sell at the supply zone and we buy at the demand zone. We sell high, we buy low. So price have been on a consolidative state for quite some time. It went up, tested again, came back, tested, breakout, false breakout, came back into the zone. There's been a concentration of buyers and sellers. So if price could pull back to the zone again, we could take sells here, stop loss just above the spike, the breakout there, and then from here we could target the demand zone at our take profit could be at 1.09099. I could be wrong, price could even break out of the zone, but taking into consideration the pair correlation, then this is the ideal setup. Just make sure you use proper risk management. We sell here, after a pullback we sell here, stop loss just above there, and then first take profit could be at 1.09111. Looking at the GBP USD on the daily time frame, I just thought to come to the day just to see the bigger time frame or the bigger standpoint. So you see this high here, the previous couple of days, price impulsed on a Friday this week, price impulsed out of the zone and just tested the previous breakout. So what I'm thinking is that it created a new high, but it could be a false one. Let's go on the smaller time frame, 4 hour. Okay, this is the standpoint. This is actually what I'm looking at. So price broke out of this high, but what I'm thinking, I think that there were sellers concentrated from this position here. They took sells, possibly took their profits. Buyers came in, but there were still sellers in the market. Adjusted stop loss, or their stop loss could be potentially up there. So price just came to take out the sellers. If you know price action, the market came to take out the sellers with the short-term buyers who came in and gave this market a huge drive to the upside. So the sellers were taken out. So I'm looking for price to pull back, or just to change direction from this upward movement, since it's a confusing movement. Most of you have not seen such movements. It happens that price breaks out of a high and you think it's gonna continue, eventually it drops and gets back into the demand zone. So currently it's a bullish, but considering the pair correlation, I'm anticipating a pullback, price to come into the resistance zone, and from here we could look for a pullback and then take price to 1.23560. So if you on the safe side, you could take your orders after price closes below 1.25474, or if price close below 1.24938, this is when you can start to take your sells. But currently this is what I'm anticipating on the GBP USD. Continuing, looking at the USDCHF on the daily time frame. The USDCHF has been on a downtrend for quite some time. I spoke about it on the previous weekly video on last week. We've seen this drop, we've seen this low here being broken out of, a pullback, a high there with a testing of this zone, a drop, then we had a first bottom, a second bottom, so we have double bottom here. So what I can say is that we need more buyers to come into the USD CHF price, but with the candlesticks, I'm looking for a strong push to the upside from this zone. We're anticipating a breakout to break out at 0.89997. Let me see the weekly chart. So the weekly candlestick closed with a bullish pin bar, a bullish candle. It's known as the pin bar. So with this candlestick, if you can see, this current candlestick is similar to this one. So you could have a move as impulsive as this one. So I'm anticipating such a move to the upside. If I'm wrong, to the downside, but with the pair correlation, I'm anticipating such a move to the upside on the 4-hour time frame. So price has been on a downtrend for quite some time. For weeks now, it has been on a downtrend since the previous 2 months. So now we had a demand zone. Price tested this zone first time, second time, third time, sold, broke out of the low. But what the breakout here, it's actually what is happening on the GBPUSD. It broke out and the traders thought it's going to drop, but eventually it came back and started to demand. Buyers came into the price. So there are still people who bought here. There are still traders who are holding their buys from here. So it's been a consolidative state. The market has been in a consolidative state for quite some time. So what you could do, you could wait for price to break out of this supply zone or break out of this demand zone. If price pulls back here, then you look to buy. Stop loss just below there. The first target could be at 0.89941, and then if price breaks out of the supply zone, you will wait for an impulse pullback, then you start to place your buys. Stop loss could be below at 0.89713, and then the first target could be at 0.91174. I could be wrong. Price could typically drop, break out of this zone, and then just continue with the downtrend. So for the sellers, you could wait for price to break out at the low at this horizontal line at 0.88743 here. You go ready for price to break out of this low, then it is a confirmed sell. For buyers, we're waiting for the breakout at 0.89927. Looking at the gold market on the 4-hour time frame, on the gold, we still are having a consolidative price. From the previous week, price have not done much. It was still in the boundaries, or still in the box, coming here, going down from the demand zone, going to the supply, from the supply going to the demand zone, in between the high at 2009 and the low at 1971. So price of gold has been consolidating in a choppy market just in between this zone. So it was really a tricky week to trade the gold the past week. So for this week, we have NFP, we have some major news in the United States, so as well as the Fed news. So potentially we could see price coming up at the supply zone. You understand? Since price is at the demand zone, price is at the demand zone, I anticipate price possibly to pull back. Since the perspective that I'm having is that the institutional traders are buying the gold, so you could see gold pulling back here and then impulsing to the upside. But with the pair correlation, gold could start to sell from this supply zone. So for someone like me, I could start to sell here and take the sell order here, looking to take price to the downside. You understand what I'm saying? But if the institutional momentum is still strong, we could see price breaking out regardless of the pair correlation. That's how powerful gold is. It happens sometimes that the USDJPY or the USD price could be bullish as well as gold being bullish. So with this case, what I'm seeing here is that I'm not interested on trading the gold. Since it's really not correlating. The institutional investors are buying gold, they are also buying the USDJPY, so it's really messed. And when the USD is bullish, gold needs to be negative. It's pair correlation, but in this case it's a different story. So it could play out tricky. It could go down, chop the market, break the demand zone, pull back again, break the resistance zone, and just go up there crazily. So we could potentially have a crazy week this coming week. So this is what I'm having on the USD, on the gold price, on the gold chart. I'm really not interested on it. This is what happened the past week. We had a consolidative state. Price was still in the boundaries here. So if it breaks up there, we could see a potential impulse to the upside. If it breaks low here, we could see a potential decline. Looking at the US 500 on the 4-hour time frame, US 500, also known as the Standards and Poor, the S&P 500, or the SPX 500, it's an index. It moves similar to Nasdaq. So what I'm looking on at here, it's on the 4-hour time frame. I have a strong supply zone. Price tested it second time, third time. Currently it's still at the supply zone without a considerate movement. And the past week we had a pin bar opening this just below the moving average. With the moving average below, it signals to us that price will move to the upside. So price did exactly that. You see how powerful the moving averages how these moving averages are super powerful. So you need to install them on your functions. Price shot up. Possibly it was even some positive news on the fundamentals. So let me quickly go to the daily before I show you what I'm seeing. Okay. Sorry. On the daily chart, if you can see, around February, the second month of the year, price was at this high where it's currently at. Price consolidated there and eventually it sold, failing to break out of this consolidative state. Price sold, breaking this low. So here we have some long-term sellers or position traders who took sells right here. 2 months back. So with price coming back to test the previous zone here, I'm looking for more institutional traders to come sell, or more position traders to continue piling up on their sells. You understand what I'm saying? So with the history that I'm seeing, the pattern that I'm seeing here, price failed to break out of this high for a long period of time, for more than months, failing to break this high. We came the previous days, price sellers came in hard, price dropped, broke out of this low, signaling to us that it's a change of direction. But still there's this other breakout, the demand zone here, hence price shifted to the upside. So it's still on a undecided movement, but here with the supply zone, it's actually a good trade to take because it's high and we sell high. So let me go to the 4 hour. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. So I'm looking for price is still on that supply zone. If price could drop a little bit and close below the supply zone at 4162, then it could actually be accurate to what I'm saying. We could take sell positions here, stop loss above the supply zone, and then the first take profit could be at 4115. From here we could get an impulse, a pullback, we could take more sell orders and have our stop losses there. So if you fail to take the first orders here, you can have an opportunity to take some second sells here with your stop loss just above the zone there, and then looking for price to drop to the first target at 40.52. So this is what I'm anticipating for the upcoming week of NFP. We have NFP this week. I'm possibly going to drop analysis on the USD charts post NFP and see how the charts are changing. Happy trading, trade carefully, and then let's get this week, let's make this week great too. Cheers.